Hello, everyone.
Hello,
I'm Jeffrey,
and I'm Kumi.
and this is Sofa Eikaiwa,
Sofa Eikaiwa.
because we're on the sofa.
Yes.
Or
But Eikaiwa may be better to tell what's Eikaiwa.
right, Eikaiwa is a Japanese word for English conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Armchair English. Yeah, because we're in Japan. We're
Yeah.
live in the mountains of Japan, and so, well, this is our first time. So, and we're just having fun, and I hope you will have fun with us. Talking a little bit of English.
Mm.
And if you have any questions you want to ask, you can comment and we'll get them and we'll do our best to answer.
Mm.
So yeah, let's do some what we call Jiko Shokai in Japanese, which is introductions. It's our first time.
Mm.
I'm Jeffrey. Nice to meet you. And
I'm Kumi. Nice to meet you.
And
Then so you wanna? Well, maybe then I'll ask So where are you originally from?
I am originally from America, California, and I was born in Los Angeles, and I grew up in Los Angeles. Then I actually moved up to San Francisco to go to university, and I came here to Japan. How about you? Where are you originally from?
Well, Japan, but really south part of Japan that it's called Kyushu, that little island. I don't know if that's little or not, but the island it's in the Japan that island,
Yeah.
and in here really local area. And I was living in Gifu, which is located in really center of Japan. Location is the center. It's not really center of Japan, which is the Tokyo, so it's not that. Gifu, the mountain kind of area, and
Very mountain.
yeah, and then we met there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's where I went in the very beginning when I came to Japan. That's where I started, in Gifu. It's very rural area. It's pretty rural place. It's not like Tokyo at all. And a lot of mountains, but that suited me quite well.
Yeah.
One thing I really loved about Gifu was being in the center of Japan. It was very easy to travel
Yeah.
and see Japan.
Yeah.
Like cheap and easy. Everything was kind of close. If I had lived on one end of Japan or the other, it'd be really hard to kind of go everywhere. So Gifu was very convenient for travel, and also it was very close to a major airport, an international airport, pretty close. So it suited me well there.
Or maybe also you liked the part of the Gifu was more historical kind of place.
Yeah, Gifu had a lot of more
castles and like I had the bushy culture there.
Yeah. It was very traditional Japanese culture, whereas Tokyo is very modern Japanese culture, which is very cool. But I kind of came here to really experience the deeper Japanese culture to start. So I was glad I was there, and I could always go to Tokyo pretty easy when I wanted that modern culture. But, so yeah, it was good. Anyways, well, tell me something, Kumi, that you're very interested in.
I have many things that I am interested in.
Yes,
Many.
of course. That's an interesting thing about you.
Oh, thank you. Well, maybe one I really want to
Hmm.
say the D&D,
Oh yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons, that I started, well, kind of recent, last year.
Yeah. Last year.
Yeah, yeah, and that's really really fun. Yeah, and can I move on the next, like
Sure.
other interest?
Yeah.
Maybe I am health freak, like the
Oh.
diet. That it's not about like a like healthy living.
Hmm.
The diet, the food, the well, I had a time to be the vegan,
Hmm.
so that kind of more loosen up and then change the more freestyle of just health conscious kind of diet and like the lifestyle, the how the schedule my daily life and
Right.
yeah,
Right.
I am health freak.
Yeah, you've become. I don't know if you always were a health freak, but definitely you have become a bit of a health freak. In a good way, of course.
Mm.
Yeah. You're healthy.
Mm.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Mhm.
what?
Maybe what?
Maybe I'll stop here for introducing my interest for now, but I
Okay.
have other little different interests.
Well, I'll really quick about your interests. So, yeah, we both live a pretty healthy life here in Japan, and also about the Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, we're. I used to play when I was very young, back in the back in the day, long time ago, and Dungeons and Dragons was a new thing. Um, but recently, I've kind of gotten back into it because it is fun, and introduced Kumi, and yeah, we've been playing, and well, actually, I found it as an adult. It's even more fun than when I was a teenager.
Yeah?
Yeah. Um, so it Dungeons and Dragons, if you don't know, it's a role-playing game without a computer, basically. So we all just sit around and kind of tell the story of the adventure that you might go on with a computer game if you're playing RPG role-playing games on computer. Um, but I guess when I was a teenager, I didn't know so much about role play. You know, it was just kind of like and go go. But now as an adult, I mean, I know about I as an adult, I know more about talking with people, having good conversations, and so it makes the role play more fun for me now than when I was a teenager.
Well, so as you've been DM, Dungeon Master,
Yeah.
I really, really enjoy and appreciate that. Maybe it's kind of slow game,
Yeah.
but I really enjoy those experience.
Great. Thank you. I'm very happy to hear that.
Imaginary experience. But
Yeah.
yeah, so fun.
Yeah, it's really fun. So lately we've been doing that for the past year. It's been a great coronavirus era kind of activity. So
Yeah, we are doing online. Yeah.
yeah, online. So it's very safe and fun. So yeah.
Well, then maybe I'll ask you what's your interest.
My interests also, I have many different interests, which is maybe why you and I get along very well. But well, along with that kind of Dungeons and Dragons thing, I don't do it right now because it's hard to find good partners in Japan for this. But I used to do fencing, historical fencing with the old style swords and daggers and stuff. it was very interesting, and I'm still very interested, but I haven't really practiced for a while because in Japan everything is about the katana and kendo swords, and so it's hard to find a good fencing partner, Western fencing partner. So
And then it's really different from the like Olympic style fencing too.
yeah, it's not really the sport fencing. It's more like the martial art kind of version of Renaissance style fencing. So
Yeah.
it's very interesting. I still have my sword. I go outside and practice sometimes, but myself, just the moves. But yeah, and also the Japanese summer with all of the mold killed all of my
Yeah.
my helmet and everything. I had to throw it away because it was totally full of green mold.
I'm sorry about that.
Well, can't help. But
Mm.
yeah. Anyways, I'm interested in that. I'm also very interested in poetry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you wrote haiku. Haiku is haiku.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you said, yeah, you wrote in Japanese, like sometimes mixed,
A few.
the English and then Japanese mixed kind of haiku and.
Yeah. So yeah, I love reading poetry, and I enjoy writing poetry too. And yeah. And I studied English literature, and I loved it in college. And I also studied philosophy, so I love this kind of thinking stuff. I guess that's kind of boring, but to me, it's really interesting and kind of crazy exciting, actually.
Philosophy is not boring
I don't think so, but
at all.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's interesting.
it is.
And my more interesting things, even I love dancing and music. So, and that's just a few of my interests. I have many more. We'll start there. Yeah. Anything else to introduce ourselves?
Well, we can introduce ourselves a lot, but maybe we cannot like do all in one time.
No.
That's too much. And well, like you mentioned about the fencing, like you fencing stuff. Maybe we can show that your sword.
Oh, my sword? Yeah. In another episode, maybe.
Yeah.
I have to go upstairs and find it and grab it.
Yeah.
And maybe I should clean the rust off of it just a little bit.
And then maybe also you can show that your haiku or.
Now that'd be fun.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that's easy. They're so short. Nice. Yeah. That's the nice thing about haiku. They're really a pleasure to write because to make a great haiku, it's not super easy, but it doesn't. You don't have to write pages and pages like epic Western poetry. You can just and then it's very easy to read and quick to read, and you just 10 seconds and you're like, and you're done. And that's kind of the pleasure of haiku. It's compact. Yeah. So yeah, we'll show that sometime. Yeah. Well, this is just our first time, so we just kind of wanted to try it, have a little fun, and we'll do more when. So actually, we've been watching, Amazon Prime and Disney Plus, and we tried Netflix and for our entertainment. And we got a little tired of that, and we thought, why don't we, instead of watching things all the time, why don't we try kind of outputting something on video instead for fun? videos that I teach a little bit, and we also we also record our D&D, our Dungeons and Dragons games, and stream on YouTube. But this was just kind of more, instead of watching a TV show, we'll sit down and we'll make a TV show, kind of. And so this is just our entertainment. So when we feel like watching TV, we'll maybe just sit down and say hello instead on YouTube here. So if you subscribe to this imagineigo channel, you'll probably get notifications of when we pop up live and say hello. So, and please join us and say hello back. But we don't have a set schedule and not a really set timeline. So when we want to watch TV, instead we're going to do this and just be like, oh, let's say hi to everyone. So that's kind of what we're doing. And so tonight, I think we just want to try it and make sure this works. And I had to set it up, and the YouTube Live is not so hard to set up, but a little confusing at first. And I hope this is working and everyone's seeing.
Yeah.
So we'll probably say goodnight soon and go check out if it's actually recorded and up. And yeah, we'll chill out and maybe go to bed soon. But
Yeah.
That healthy lifestyle you were talking about.
I'm already shutting down, like as usual.
All right. Well, then we'll say goodbye soon. But yeah.
But we were going to introduce like each other.
Oh yes, right, because you were asking me questions, I was asking you questions, and now I will tell you something interesting about Kumi, and she will tell you something interesting about me. Is that right? Yeah. Do you want to start?
Okay. Okay. So about Jeffrey, maybe I wanna tell you, tell you that that how's like Jeffrey is. Well, just part of Jeffrey, but it shows really well about him, I think. And so one kind of episode. So when we started date long time ago, and the first time at his apartment, that he cooked for me dinner, and I was so excited about like my boyfriend is cooking dinner for me, and I guess that in Japan the cooking needs to really cook, and like, well, anyway, so what he made was boiled buckwheat noodle soba,
buckwheat noodles, yes,
and without any soup, and then put on the plate, and he also, I think he stuffed like some vegetables.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure he put any kind of seasoning in it. I felt no seasoning, and put the stuffed like vegetable on the boiled soba, the buckwheat noodle. And
by the way, soba is usually in a kind of soup, like a noodle soup dish.
Yeah. So that was the unusual for me. That it wasn't in the soup, and also the stuffed like vegetable is on the soba noodle, and they had a very, very natural taste, which is no seasoning, like themselves taste. And like there was a like soy sauce on the table, and then like I had to just pour. But usually just the soy sauce is not enough. for those kind of food.
Mm.
And the that's not really cooking for me. Just boil the soba and then stuff like the vegetable on. That's not really cooking. So now I was kind of really disappointed
Oh.
that time.
Mm.
And the unusual style of dinner.
Mm.
But later, when we started to live together, and then sometimes he cooks for me, and he has so many like unusual way of kind of matching up the food, the things, and sometimes very very amazing, like unexpected the result with something and then something that you usually don't put together. That's really him. Not only for food. It's that kind of unique, kind of arranging kind of skill or imaginations.
I'm a mixer and a matcher. A DJ of sorts.
Yeah. Very kind of jazz.
Yeah.
Like flow that in the moment, the feeling or something.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, that's a nice story.
Oh yeah, it ends up a nice story.
Ends up a nice story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, about Kumi, something kind of just amusing about her and interesting is so about food. I am very much a sweets kind of person. I love sweets. I always have.
Very much.
Like I want dessert always, and it needs to be sweet. And breakfast should be sweet. But on the other hand, Kumi is the salty snacks kind of person. So she really prefers like potato chips and stuff like that.
That's not really health conscious, but sure.
Yeah, it's not like she's eating potato chips all the time. It's just when she wants some snack, you know. So when we go into the, convenience store, Japan has all kinds of amazing convenience stores everywhere, or to the, the grocery store or something for snacks. We head in, and I head over to the sweets zone, and she heads over to the salty snacks zone with potato chips and stuff. And it's just funny because, well, often people have the image that girls love sweets and guys like, meaty and salty stuff. But Kumi loves the salty stuff. And like after I'm done with my sweets, she'll be like, "Oh, don't you want potato chips?" I'm like, "No, I just had sweets. Why would I want potato chips now?" For me, it's the other way around. But for her, it's salty stuff. So it's just kind of amusing.
It's not really amusing for me at all, but well, just today that also happened.
Yeah. She was giving me some cookies while I was washing the vegetables for dinner.
Well, I was also happy. But I don't dislike sweets.
Right.
I want to have sometimes sweets.
And I don't dislike salty things, but I have a preference. But so I was eating the cookies and she was eating the cookies, and then she switched over to the salty stuff. She's like, "Oh, why don't you?" Because we ran out of cookies, and she's like, why don't you have this?" I'm like, "No, I'm good. I just had my sweets. I'm good."
Yeah.
I'm done.
So I don't like to end up the mouth the taste. So the sweet. I wanna end up maybe salty.
And I prefer the other way.
Yeah.
So that's kind of funny. Maybe that's kind of funny about both of us, actually, I guess. But, yeah. We're funny.
Is it? I hope.
Maybe.
Well, we have more other funny things too.
Yes, tonight is just a trial
Yeah.
of the system and just to meet you.
This is just the beginning of the funniness.
Yeah, just the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, maybe we'll bring our snacks sometime next time. You can have some salty snacks and I'll have some sweet snacks. And with that, why don't we wrap up for tonight? Yeah, it's getting late. It was a busy, hot day today. So. Yeah.
And then it is getting like 7:30.
7:30 almost.
So I have to get ready for bed.
Yeah.
Like a child.
Yeah, before you get grumpy.
Yeah.
So let's end now while we're still fun.
Yeah.
So everyone, thank you very much. And well, yeah, follow us for more interesting stuff if this works out. So yeah, nice to meet you all. And remember, you can just add comments and we can see them, I think, and we can comment back. So yeah, we can have a little conversation. That's the point. The sofa Eikaiwa, the armchair English conversation. Good night.
Good night.
Catch you next time. Now let's see if I can get out of here. Okay, it says end stream. Bye-bye. Stop immediately. Yes. Yes, I'm ready. End. Goodbye.
Good night.